From Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. A severe weather update starts right now.
Severe weather possible overnight. You got to have a way to hear warnings as we may have tornadoes and damaging straight-line winds in many spots across South Alabama and Northwest Florida. Hope you're having a nice Sunday evening. This is the latest convective outlook issued just a short time ago by the Storm Prediction Center. And it's not all bad news because part of our area is now back in the level 2 out of 5 risk, but you've still got an enhanced tornado risk, especially along the eastern side of our local area, extending over into southeast Alabama. So tornadoes will be possible overnight, including potentially a few strong EF2 plus tornadoes. And so you have to have a way to hear warnings. That's the main message. Right now, we have a squall line that has developed. It's a long line of storms that extends from Illinois and Indiana all the way back down to parts of Louisiana and East Texas. You can see all of these orange and red boxes in through here. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings and a few tornado warnings embedded with that as well. We have a new tornado watch that's just been posted for parts of North Alabama, including places like Huntsville, Cullman, Florence, Muscle Shoals, Decatur, over to Boaz and Scottsboro involved in a tornado watch. I just got a message a moment ago from the Storm Prediction Center. A new tornado watch is being coordinated for parts of West Alabama, southern Mississippi, and eastern Louisiana. So this is going to be the zone that goes under a tornado watch in the next 2 hours ahead of this line of thunderstorms. So a tornado watch is coming. It's probably going to be a deal like the other night where the western part of our region gets the first tornado watch and then a new one will probably be required overnight for areas further east. So again, a level 3 out of 5 risk for much of Alabama, extending all the way down to the Emerald Coast, extending over to places like Dothan, Alabama as well. Here's the local view. And again, this is a fresh convective outlook in from the Storm Prediction Center moments ago. You've got much of northern Clark, Monroe, Conecuh, part of Escambia, Alabama, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa counties points back to the east involved in this enhanced tornado risk zone. And this is because this is the zone where we're going to potentially see some supercell thunderstorms out ahead of the advancing line of storms that could produce a few tornadoes that last for more than a few minutes. You know, normally in a squall line, a line of storms that comes through, these tornadoes are very quick, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, that type thing. With these supercells, sometimes you'll get a tornado that's on the ground for 10 or 15 minutes. And so obviously that can be a very scary, serious situation if your location goes under a tornado warning specifically associated with a supercell storm. But again, all tornado warnings very serious. So again, even if you're not in this higher level 3 risk, we all have a risk of severe storms. I do think the better dynamics with this system are going to happen across inland areas. What do I mean by that? If you're south of I-10, you still have a severe weather risk, but the risk is lower. So there's a chance that if you're south of I-10, you just have some rain and thunder overnight. I think that areas further inland here are going to have the better probability of severe storms overnight. Timing, let's look at this. 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. for West Alabama and much of southeast Mississippi. 1 a.m. for a big chunk of our local area, Mobile, the Eastern Shore, Gulf Shores, Dauphin Island, Pensacola, Milton, back up to Bruton, Andalusia, Monroeville, Greenville. We're talking 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's an overnight event. We have plenty of those, unfortunately, around here, and this is yet another overnight event for our local area. 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the Florida Panhandle and southeast Alabama. And again, that's the zone that I'm most concerned about, the eastern side of our region. You know, it seems like over the last few years, West Alabama has kind of been a hot spot for severe weather. This time it's a little different. Covington, Okaloosa, Butler, Conecuh, Escambia, Alabama, Monroe, Walton counties, points back to the east, have the higher risk this time. And so could have a few tornadoes in the overnight hours. Now, I want to get in here and look at this projected radar, but before we do, what I've done is I've broken the projected radar down into 4 different sectors. We're going to look at West Alabama first, Then we're going to go over here to south central Alabama. Then we'll go to northwest Florida and then coastal Alabama. And then we'll look at the big projected radar like normal. So let's go ahead and go through this. This is valid at 10 o'clock tonight. Here's your timestamp. A few showers possible, but the bigger issues will be in progress to our west. There's the main line of storms, and you see there's a few blips out ahead of it. We're going to have to watch those because there could be a few tornadoes involved. But there's your main line of storms. 3 a.m. coming through places like Jackson, Leroy, Grove Hill, and Thomasville. It kicks on out of there into south central Alabama and coastal Alabama around 3 or 4 in the morning. And so overnight deal for West Alabama. It's going to be an overnight deal for everyone. Showers will linger into the late morning hours. So even though the severe weather risk will come to a close, there's going to be some rain after the fact in the morning and really extending into potentially the afternoon hours as well. All right, let's go over to south central Alabama. Here's 10 o'clock. We'll stop that at 1 o'clock. Cells developing out ahead of the main batch of thunderstorms. And some of these cells out here could be severe, producing tornadoes. There's your main line of storms at 3 a.m. coming across I-65 between 3 and 5 in the morning. These would be supercells. This would be a squall line that kind of pushes to the east around 5 o'clock in the morning. So let's back this up one more time. Places like Monroeville, Evergreen, Lee Effian, Uri, Atmore, Huxford, also areas near Wallace, Range, Lenox, Castleberry, Evergreen, Andalusia, Bruton. We're talking 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. being that probable 2-hour main window. And keep in mind, there will be storms before and after that possibly, but we're talking just before sunrise in these communities across south central Alabama. That look is valid at 5 a.m. And just like West Alabama, there's going to be some residual rain and maybe even some thunderstorms after the fact, but they won't be severe. This main line of storms is going to kick through, and after it comes through your community, I'll be able to give you an all clear. Of course, we'll be doing that in the Red Zone Weather app. All right, Northwest Florida. All our Northwest Florida communities could have supercells around 2 a.m. Jay, Munson, Crestview, Destin, Pensacola, Navarre, Milton, Pace as well. These could be supercells producing tornadoes. Here is the main line of thunderstorms. 4 a.m. near I-65. 5 a.m. coming on through. There's 7 o'clock with the line of storms to the east. And so Northwest Florida, coastal areas probably going to fare better than inland areas. So that's going to be kind of the general rule of thumb. We'll go over to coastal Alabama, Mobile and Baldwin counties here. And storms going to set up around 1 or 2 in the morning, could have some claps of thunder. There's the big line of storms back at Hattiesburg by 3 a.m. coming into Mobile County, 3, 4 in the morning, loud and proud storms. Some of those could be producing damaging straight line winds, not only in Mobile and Baldwin counties, but across inland areas as well. And so not only are we concerned about tornadoes, we're also concerned about damaging wind gusts. Here's the normal view of the projected radar, the whole region. 1 a.m. potentially got some supercells developing. I think that 2, 3, 4 a.m. is going to be the time really east of 65 when we'll have to watch for supercell thunderstorms developing out ahead of that gnarly line of thunderstorms that could be producing widespread damaging winds. It's coming on through 3 a.m. Supercells ahead. Here's the main line. Damaging winds along the main line. Maybe a few embedded tornadoes as well. And this is going to be a deal that kicks on out of here between, say, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning off to the east. Again, residual rain possible all across the region in the morning, long after the severe weather threat comes to an end. And I can't completely rule out some claps of thunder with this mass of rain and thunderstorms potentially, but I think it's mostly going to be rain after the severe weather event ends from west to east. Now, we got plenty of instability. This is storm fuel. If you remember the other night, the values weren't quite this high. So anything over 500 joules per kilogram is notable. In this situation, we're talking 2,000, 2,500 joules per kilogram. And so what that means is the atmosphere is primed. It's ready to support the potential for severe storms. If you remember the other night, we actually ended up with 10 confirmed tornadoes and several swaths of widespread damaging winds. So that was a big event. I realized that a lot of that happened in more rural areas, but it was a pretty big event. And this one could be similar to what happened the other night because of this parameter as well. This is atmospheric shear, and this is why I believe that the overall threat is going to be a little bit more pronounced further inland, away from the coast, because the shear values are maximized really north of US Highway 84. That's not to say you won't get a severe storm down around the coast. You might. But the parameters are a little higher further inland, and that overlap of ingredients is what we look for. Lightning swaths across the region. This is a little bit more robust than the other night. If you remember in that video, I guess it was 4 or 5 days ago now, this parameter wasn't as robust as what we're seeing here. And so what that tells me is that storms could be a little more intense. We're talking maybe a few EF2 plus tornadoes. The other night it was EF0 and EF1 tornadoes that didn't last very long. Even in that line that comes across our region, some of the tornadoes may be a bit stronger. So that's why we've got a level 3 out of 5 tornado risk. Damaging straight line winds also going to be possible across the region, and that means that power outages could also quickly become a concern. And so you got to charge those devices now, long before storms get here, so that you can watch our coverage, or really watch anyone. I don't care who you watch, as long as you're getting good, reliable, solid information as we track these severe thunderstorms in the overnight hours. So a level 3 out of 5 risk across the region. Tomorrow, this is the convective outlook. As that line continues pushing off to the east, the severe weather threat comes to a close. There is a level 4 out of 5 risk for parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia tomorrow. So just wanted you to be aware of that. This storm system is really trucking off to the east tomorrow, and it's going to continue to intensify. By the way, if you didn't know, we have a freeze warning. Yes, indeed, a freeze warning for tomorrow night. Temperature is going to plummet after that cold front comes through tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow, and I say highs, the technical highs will occur after midnight, but temperatures around 3 o'clock only going to be in the 50s. And tomorrow night will be at or just below the freezing mark pretty much region-wide. So the National Weather Service has put us all under a freeze warning valid tomorrow night into early Tuesday morning. Now, if you missed this the other night, take a screenshot. This is what you need to do anytime we have an active tornado warning. So important that you know what to do, and go ahead and find that tornado helmet and have it ready for storms in the overnight hours, as we could have a few tornadoes tonight. So a level 3 out of 5 tornado risk, mainly along south and east of Interstate 65. Andalusia, Evergreen, Opp, Bruton, Crestview, areas near Defuniak Springs, Elba, Troy, Luverne, Greenville, Dothan, Ozark, Abbeville, Enterprise, Eufaula have the highest tornado risk in the overnight hours. That doesn't mean that a tornado can't happen further southwest, but the risk is a little bit more elevated off to the east. I'll have plenty of updates posted in the Red Zone Weather app over the next few hours. And of course, if we happen to have tornado warnings, I'll come straight back on Facebook Live to bring you the very latest. Here's a live look at the radar. Again, a new tornado watch is coming soon for parts of West Alabama and much of Mississippi and East Louisiana. We'll bring that to you in the Red Zone Weather app when it is issued. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson saying goodbye for now. Plenty of updates posted in the Red Zone Weather app over the next few hours.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.